Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Long time no see. I feel like I say that every time I record a video, but anyway, I am back today with a new video. And for those of you who don't know, I did just have my second child in May. So I had a little boy. So I have a little girl and a little boy now. And let me tell you, having a baby in quarantine, my last half of my pregnancy in quarantine has just been an experience to say the least. So to any of you pregnant women out there or ladies who did deliver their babies during quarantine, you have my sympathies because it is such an odd time right now, and the majority of our families haven't even met my son, so it's crazy. But I did want to come on and share with you guys some breastfeeding tips as far as getting your supply up if you are struggling with that. I know breastfeeding can be extremely difficult. It is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's very inconvenient. Quite frankly, it sucks. You have to get up in the middle of the night and pump. Pumping is just so inconvenient. But anyway, that is what I am doing. I am pumping. So I have learned a few things from my first pregnancy and breastfeeding experience to my second baby and breastfeeding him, and so I thought I would come on and share some of my tips and tricks on increasing your supply if you are struggling. So I apologize for the lighting before we go on. I'm in our spare room right now. Both my kids are sleeping. Hopefully they will stay sleeping until the end of this video. And no, I did not get my nails done. These are press-ons because I am socially responsible. So anyway, guys, but by the way, this is my real hair. Can you believe how long it's got? There's no extensions in here. Quarantines has done wonders for my hair gains. Not having to do, heat styling because I was working from home since basically February. Not doing my hair, not, just letting it air dry, not blow drying it has done such wonders for my hair growth. So I'm really excited about that. But anyway, let's move on to what this video is about. So like I said, I have learned some things from the breastfeeding experience with my daughter versus breastfeeding my son. So some things that have helped me are: one, hydration. You need to drink water. Limit your caffeine. I know for me, as soon as I could have coffee again and Diet Pepsi, especially being a mom of two under two, I was like, oh my God, I need caffeine. But caffeine will kill your supply. So take coffee and Pepsi and all of those lovely caffeinated drinks and keep them in moderation, because that is something that will affect your breast milk supply. Now, also disclaimer, I am not a breastfeeding expert. I am not a lactation consultant. I am just a mom who found some tips and tricks through other moms and through trial and error, and I'm sharing them with you. So first things first, like I said, stay extremely hydrated. Drink water even if you're not thirsty. It will really help your supply. Some things that I have found to make that a little more enjoyable are drinking things that taste good and that have electrolytes and hydration qualities. So I have Gatorade on hand at all times. I drink a ton of Gatorade, and this really helps. Again, it tastes better than regular water. I also use flavor packs like iced tea, individual packets, lemonade, things like that to make getting my water in more enjoyable. I also highly recommend these. These were recommended to me by a mom on one of the Facebook moms groups, and these things are like a game changer. They are the Body Armor Super Drinks. They're super hydration. They have coconut water in them, electrolytes, antioxidants, B vitamins. These things are great to help you stay hydrated and keep your supply up. So I drink about 1 to 2 of these a day. They come in many different flavors: peach mango, pomegranate, this one blackberry. I've tried them all. This one is the strawberry banana one. It's my personal favorite, but they have many different flavors. I definitely recommend those if you are struggling. Another tip that I will say has helped me are lactation cookies. Now, like I said, being a mom with 2 under 2, my daughter just turned 2, but before that, I have no time to make cookies. I still don't have time to make cookies. So I have to buy lactation cookies already made, pre-done. Now, some of you can find the mixes on Amazon, and you can make them yourself if you have time. For me personally, I do not have time, so I spend a little extra money to buy them pre-made so I don't have to worry about it. And the ones that have been a real game changer for me are the lactation cookie bites. These are by Milk Makers. Also, I believe they're associated with, or maybe Munchkin. They make these cookies. They are the #1 lactation cookie brand. I will tell you that these things, in my personal opinion, sorry Milk Makers, they taste absolutely vile. They have flaxseed in them, and I don't know about you, but flaxseed is just not a flavor that I get down with. So I do not like the taste of these. However, I will say that if you have them with coffee, they are doable. The ones I get are oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. They come in a box of 10 bags, and I eat a bag a day. They look like this. They are hard cookies. They are not soft cookies. They are about $18 or $20 a box. So if you eat one every day, that's about 3 boxes a month, which you're looking at like $60. Yes, it's expensive, but these were game changers for me, game changers. At about 2 weeks after my son was born, I really started having a decrease in my supply to the point that I actually had to temporarily supplement him on formula. It was extremely stressful. I jumped on the moms groups, or one of the Facebook moms groups, you know what I'm saying, and somebody recommended lactation cookies. I'd never tried them, but I thought, okay, you know what, I have nothing to lose. I need to do something. So I bought those cookies. I went through tons of reviews. I looked at a bunch of cookies, and those ones were the best. So literally like 2 days or a day after I bought those cookies and ate them, my supply came back with a vengeance. So I highly recommend those cookies. Now, another brand of cookies I tried that are okay, I would definitely get the Milk Makers. I would definitely get these ones over any other brand, but I did try these as well. These are the lactation cookies by Mommy Knows Best. There are 6 cookies in here, but you really are eating like half a cookie as a serving, and they're big cookies. So here, if you see my hand for comparison, these are about how big the cookies are. These ones are just oatmeal chocolate chips, same as these ones. That's the same flavor I get in the Milk Makers. These ones taste, I would say these ones taste better than the Milk Makers ones, but I don't think they're as effective. I definitely think that they help, but they're not like the Milk Makers cookies. So if you were thinking about trying these, I would recommend just getting the Milk Makers. They're about the same in price. If you're doing a half cookie as a serving, so half a cookie a day, you'll get 2 extra servings out of this box versus the Milk Makers. But again, the Milk Makers work better, so I would get those. Now, another thing, if your supply is dwindling, I actually had a beer. So I would have a can of beer. They're usually about 4.6, 4.7, 4.5% alcohol. And that has, you know, the brewer's yeast. That really helps to increase your breast milk supply. So if you are noticing a decrease in your supply, try drinking a beer. You should wait about 2 hours before you pump again. You will not have to pump and dump. Wait about 2 hours to feed your baby or pump, and you will or should notice an increase in your breast milk supply. That being said, like I said, I'm pumping. I personally like pumping better because I can actually see the quantitative ounces. You know, I can see the number of ounces that my baby is getting at a time. So that's why I prefer to pump. For 2 weeks, up to 3 weeks, I want to say, of my son's life, I was alternating kind of pump, boob if he needed it. But once you start kind of feeding them with the bottle and you're pumping, it's a lot easier to drink out of the bottle. You know, they don't have a lot of work to do. So he, you know, kind of started weaning off the breast, and I personally prefer him not to be on the breast because let me tell you, those little suckers may not have teeth, but they get quite a grip, okay? So at one point I had to rip my nipple out of his mouth, and I thought it was gone. I thought I'd lost my nipple. So I prefer to pump. That's what I do. You know, whatever you're comfortable with. If you like them on the breast, they do say, a lot of the moms in the group are telling me, you know, that you should put them on the breast. They still get more on the breast. That's all fine and well, but for me personally, I like to pump, so that's what I do. But that's also something you may want to try if you're having a decrease in your breast milk supply. Put your baby on the boob if they will take the boob. You know, that will help. Another tip that is going to be really inconvenient for you is, now this is something I learned the second time around. With my first baby, I had postpartum really bad. I was extremely tired. I had a horrible pregnancy. At the end of my pregnancy, I had to have an emergency C-section. I have a video about that, you know, in the playlist or in my videos if you want to go check it out. That being said, I was really not physically or mentally prepared to do all that is needed to do with breastfeeding. So I would sleep through the night. I would sleep through the night as much as the baby would allow me to sleep through the night. But what I mean is I wouldn't get up extra, like off schedule of the baby, to pump. Now with my daughter, I feel like from the very beginning, I didn't have a great supply. I was in the hospital for 4 days with her, and for 3 of those days, they were, having the lactation specialist were having me put her on the boob and trying all these different things, shields and blah blah blah, and I really felt like she was actually losing weight, and they told me that if she didn't start gaining weight, they were gonna have me cluster feeding every 2 hours and blah blah blah. And so at one point I asked them for a hand pump, and they gave me one, and my supply was decent on the last day, and then when I got home it was okay, but I feel like my supply was never really great with her, and that may also, I feel like not pumping a lot didn't help with that. So like I said, I would sleep when she slept. I didn't get up extra to pump. So I feel like not pumping as much really killed my supply with her. I did maintain a half breast milk, half formula ratio for her for up to 3 months. So I breastfed, I pumped for 3 months of my daughter's life, but the bottles were never exclusively breast milk. I want to say after like the first week or two, it was half formula, half breast milk. So I never had enough supply to feed her exclusively on breast milk. Now with my son, he has been exclusively on breast milk, except for, like I said, 2 weeks after he was born, because my supply dropped and I had to feed him. So we did get formula for him, but that was very short-lived. Once my supply came back up, like I said, with the cookies and the Body Armor drinks and just drinking a lot more, he went back to exclusively breast milk. But I also have been pumping basically since I was in the hospital. So I brought my breast pump to the hospital because I knew that I didn't want him on my boob. I'm just more comfortable pumping. So like I said, he was on my boob when he had to be. If we were in the car, like picking up a prescription, and he got hungry, we would have to pull over. I put him on the boob, but he is mainly a bottle-fed, breastfed baby. However, like I said, I did bring my breast pump to the hospital, and even when I wasn't producing milk yet, when I was just producing colostrum, I was pumping it. And I think that that really, really helped with my supply, because my body just from the gate was constantly being pumped. My boobs were constantly being pumped. And then when I got home, day 4, day 5 of him, being on this earth, my supply really kicked in, and my supply has been really, really good ever since. Now, I was also, once we got home, pumping at like 5 in the morning. So, you're not going to bed till late with a newborn baby. So let's say I pumped at midnight, I would get up again and pump at 4 or 5. Then I would pump again at 7 or 8. So every like 2 to 4 hours, I am pumping. So I would recommend that if you can. Everybody's situation is different. My husband was letting me sleep with our daughter and him with the newborn for a while because, my daughter was getting acclimated to us having a new baby, blah, blah, blah. We didn't want to shock her too much with new changes and things like that. So I was sleeping with her, and that allowed me to, in the middle of the night, get up and pump. So, if you can pump in the middle of the night, I recommend doing it. If you are, if you have enough energy. I know it's very hard, but I really think that consistent pumping has made a difference this time around. Also, sit on the pump for a little bit. So what I mean by that is you're pumping, you say, okay, I'm not getting any more milk out of this boob, I'm done now. No, stay on the pump, because what will happen is you will get several letdowns, which is where you have the milk flowing. So for me, I will sit there for a while, and I can almost feel my nipple tighten, when you can just feel the pressure on the pump changes, and that's when I get another letdown of milk. And you can definitely get it. Every letdown that I get after your initial supply has drained is a good ½ ounce at a time. So stay on the pump if you can. If after 5-10 minutes you're not getting any, second, third waves of letdown, then you're probably done. But I would sit there for a little bit and see, even if you're not getting any milk, because like I said, the stimulation will eventually cause another letdown to happen, and you can get another ½ ounce per letdown. So sometimes I'll stay on for another 2 to 3 letdowns. That gets me about another 1.5 ounces of milk at a time, and I'm filling up the 5-ounce bottles up to the top. We're talking past the indication markers, way up to the top of the bottle. Now, the breast pump that I have been using and have used for my daughter as well is the Medela breast pump. I like that one. I'm comfortable with it. It's the one I would recommend if any of you are curious about breast pumps. I've had 3 of them just because, people have given me some, and then I bought one, and then I got one free from my insurance, and they have all worked really, really well. So I recommend the Medela one if you are in the market for one. Definitely consistent pumping and sitting on the pump for a while will indicate to your body that, your baby is feeding, so you'll produce more milk. So, oh my god, I'm sorry, that was so rambly. I hope that all made sense. If you guys have any questions, then let me know. I think that's about it. Like I said, the beer, if you're desperate, wait 2 hours before pumping or putting your baby on the boob. Lactation cookies, absolutely recommend. The milk makers, drinking tons and tons of water. Definitely get some body armor, some Gatorades. It makes it more enjoyable to drink, and it also helps hydrate you more. Limit your caffeine. I know that's hard, especially if this is not your first child, but it really will kill your breast milk supply, and I have noticed that myself. And then, like I said, consistent pumping every 2 to 4 hours will also help you. So anyway, ladies, I hope that you are all staying safe. I hope everyone is, making the best out of this horrible situation. Don't forget that you have this, mamas, so do your best. It doesn't matter if your babies are formula fed or breast milk fed, as long as they are fed and you do what you got to do. Don't shame other moms. It's just not cool. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's body is different. So those are just some tips and tricks from me if you are someone who would like to breastfeed and is struggling with, increasing your supply, or your supply is just dwindling, or, you just never had a good supply to begin with. So yeah, I would recommend, like I said, if you're a new mom and you're intending on breastfeeding your baby and you haven't delivered yet, I would bring your breast pump to the hospital. I know a lot of hospitals, their lactation ladies are like crazy, and they'll be like, no, don't pump, don't use, Nooks or Binkies or whatever. Do whatever is comfortable for you, and for me it was pumping. So anyway, that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you so much to all of my old subscribers and to all of the new subscribers as well. Welcome, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.